Hello, this is Piano Q&A with Nancy Allred. I am going to continue our discussion. This is part 5 of how to play and teach cross rhythms. I had an interesting experience last week while I was teaching an online lesson. There was a knock at my door, and there was a darling DSU student who wanted some help with a piece, and I don't know her, and I was just really glad that she felt comfortable enough to knock on my door. So, and lo and behold, the piece was the Intermezzo in A major by Johannes Brahms. So I found her later in a practice room and gave her a few little tips, and it was just one of those days where I didn't have much time. So I decided to create one of my practice sheets for her and sent it off to her. I find that very often each piece that has a cross rhythm will have a particular challenge, and this one it's 2 against 3, and let me play the passage. And this is the B section, if you will. This piece has an interesting form, but it's basically in an A, B, A. And so this is the beginning of the B section. Repeats that section. That's 8 measures, and the first challenge I find in teaching this piece is in that particular section, or it has 2 phrases, if you will. Students have got to know each hand impeccably. So I have them work on learning each hand, making sure the fingering is set, making sure they can play the beautiful legato phrases, and on and on. So that's very important to me, that they have this, everything is ready to go, hands alone. Then, not to mention for the entire piece. So this is deceptively difficult, as those of us that have played this know. It's Brahms, and it has a depth to it that's wonderful. So anyway, first step is, and I love to target the listening, and so, but to preface that, they must know their hands alone and have a grasp of that, not to mention do a lot of listening of the piece. In preparing a student to play this passage, I created a prep exercise in F sharp minor, and one goal is to help the student feel the F sharp minor better. Sometimes F sharp minor can have a little bit of awkwardness to it, depending on what it is. And Brahms is known in his piano music. There are definitely awkward moments that are beautiful at the same time. So, and this is definitely a beautiful passage. So I created a simple passage in F sharp minor. It's just 4 measures. Let me play it. 1, 2, 3. The student should know the math of 2 against 3, which is 2 times 3 equals 6. So I will show them that, remind them how that all works, and then we can go straight to the listening and work on and use the rhythm words. So we can go 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3. We can also do strawberry time, strawberry time. those rhythm words and take off with them, and it fixes it. If they're still struggling, I take them through 3 steps in this with this little exercise that I created, just to help them see and feel the 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, 3, or strawberry time, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3. And again, you can count 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, or strawberry time, or whichever rhythm word that you like. The second part of this exercise, we tie the quarter to the eighth, still counting, and the eighth to the quarter, and that's the beginning of filling that 2 against 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3. And then I go right on to step 3, which you notates the quarter tied to an eighth as a dotted quarter. So you'll have 2 dotted quarter notes in any measure with the 2 against 3. 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3. Then I show them the original of this prep exercise. 2 eighth notes in the right hand to 3 triplet eighth notes in the left. So 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2 and 3. This prep exercise is a great step in filling that 2 against 3 with music that it's in a little bit of an extended 5-finger pattern in the minor, but it's a way for them to feel that rhythm and then be ready to open up the Brahms and the B section starting in measure 49 with the pickup and have some wonderful experiences with them. So this prep exercise is a wonderful step, preparatory of course, to filling that 2 against 3, but using an exercise that's in F sharp minor. I could create even the just improvising, but I could extend. In fact, I thought about writing an exercise that used the. But my first step is just to keep it simple. So I love prep exercises, and this one is definitely tied to the Brahms. So once they've gone through that, then we get out our normal sheet, and again, to preface, they must have their hands alone easy. Just, they could play it in their sleep. If they can't, this Brahms, it's not going to work. So anyway, we start with the pickup, and if we don't, then if you try to add the pickup later, it just feels like it's like disjointed. So it only takes a millisecond to do that pickup, so we do. And here's part 1 of these little rhythm exercises. So we've made every beat into a 3/4 measure, which has the equivalent of 6/8 notes. So the pickup in the original music is a quarter note. So each quarter note now equals 3 beats. So here's where we're starting. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So that's only 4 measures. So let me play that again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then that goes on. And now this time without pedal. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. And so that's part 1 of the exercise. Then the next part, we tie the quarter to the eighth and the eighth to the quarter, and that will give us that 2 against 3. So here we go again. I'm leaving out the pedal so you can hear it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So part 3 will sound exactly the same, but it looks different. So a quarter tied to an eighth, of course, is a dotted quarter. So we have two dotted quarters in the measures with that cross. Excuse me. We have 2 dotted quarters in the measure with the cross rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. To put the tie back in. So we tie the pickup note into the downbeat, and so we won't play the downbeat with our right hand. And it's very important to learn. It's just another step we take, and so here is part 4 of this little exercise, putting the tie back in. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Again, no pedal. The other advantage of taking the pedal out is then they have to actually play very legato, which is something we do in all pieces that are lyrical and that are beautiful. Of course, we love it much better with pedal, but then the student has to work hard. So this passage is deceptively difficult. I will play again that phrase as it is in the piece with pedal, and we'll see. 1, 2. And then we go on. So all those steps again, counting 3 in every beat. You can at any point use those strawberry time. 1, 2, 3, and strawberry time. Strawberry time. And then we go on. Or whichever rhythm. Not difficult, not difficult. Or who parked their car. And in all of this, I will turn on the metronome again and make goals. This is a harder piece to do metronome with, of course, because it's so beautiful and lyrical, and we don't want them to move and shift over to making it sound like an etude exercise, even though we are giving them exercises to help this. So, little tips on teaching Brahms. This is definitely not the first 2 against 3 I would teach, but these steps just tighten up that rhythm and make it just beautiful and help the depth and the intensity of this cross rhythm come out so beautiful. Thank you.